Africa has passed through a series of foreign political influence on the continent. Being a major target of obtaining minerals such as oil, gold, diamonds among others, foreign superpowers have been on the African continent to carry out a number of activities for quite good time. Majorly, the West consisting of France, Britain, United States among other nations being former colonial masters in Africa, where they have been known for having various military bases and companies, a change is being seen with new arrivals. With no doubt, Western influence on the African continent is quite significant, ranging from languages, religion, political among others. But, as time has continued to pass, the continent is receiving a new wave of foreign political influence. While China has been somehow active on the continent, it has majorly been focusing on carrying out trade and sending investors to Africa. Now, a new rising foreign giant comes in majorly concerning security. This new giant is indirectly chasing away long-time darlings, also former colonizers, through a number of ways. Russia is continuing to show its influence on the African continent through a number of countries it counts coalitions with. Russian military personnel are becoming the new foreign guards in Africa, replacing Western powers whom African countries look at as practitioners of neo-colonialism. Previously carrying out operations under Wagner, the Russian African Guard recently, after the death of the head of the Wagner group, decided to change its organization under a new name. Reorganizing Wagner as Africacorps enables Russia to expand its Africa strategy through direct state means. Even though Wagner under late Yevgeny Prigozhin carried out military operations as a private entity, Russia Africacorps is under the government of Russia control. Since 2017, Russia had used Wagner as a low-cost strategy to increase its foothold in Africa. Russia and the West are known to be having intensive tensions between them, a thing which Russia under Wagner wanted to shift to Africa, a landmass full of minerals, and being politically strategic. Russia's economic, diplomatic, and military interests in Africa have been increasing in the past few years, which is a shock to many, as they thought that after the death of Prigozhin, Wagner's future and its presence in Africa would decline. It had spread its operations to the Middle East, that is Syria, Latin America, that is Venezuela, Africa, that is Central African Republic, Mali, Sudan, Libya, Mozambique, and Madagascar. Recently, due to a number of military coups, which saw the rise of amazing leaders like President Ibrahimtraore, who are totally against the West, Russia is using this chance to increase its influence in Africa. Russia's move to create the Africa Corps can be analyzed from two possibly overlapping perspectives. First, by controlling Africa Corps, Moscow could be trying to avoid past mistakes. Second, aligning Africa Corps' operations with Russia's foreign policy, security interests, and international commitments could be part of the country's long-term military strategy in Africa. Moscow has shown interest in filling the vacuum left by France and its Western allies in the Sahel following the recent military coups. President Vladimir Putin met and held talks with Burkina Faso's leader Ibrahimtraore during the July 2023 Russia-Africa Summit. Also, Russia's Deputy Defense Minister Yevgeny visited Libya in August and Niger in December, before traveling to Mali. On January 24, 2024, Putin met Mahamat Idriss Deby, Chad's military leader who took power in a 2021 soft coup. As a number of Western powers are removing their military bases from the three Sahel and West African countries, that is Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, Russian soldiers simultaneously are flocking to these areas. These soldiers are assisting the local military personnel to fight insurgent groups, which are, and have been troublesome in the Sahel region of West Africa. These same Russian soldiers are also assisting as presidential bodyguards to heavily protect the presidents from coup attempts. Mali, Libya, and Burkina Faso have already signed agreements with the Russian Defense Ministry, and Central African Republic is currently negotiating with Russia's government to build a military base. Recently, the three Sahel leaders held their first summit of the Alliance of Sahel States, which broke from ECOWAS. ECOWAS is known to be a strong ally with the West, yet the three Sahel states are against the West, so adding to alliance of Sahel states not being in good terms with the ECOWAS due to breaching a number of laws guiding West African countries, the three leaders of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are utilizing the chance to collate with Russia through mainly military protection. You know, the focal point of the significant presence of Russian soldiers in Burkina Faso and Mali is accusing the West, mainly France, of working with terrorists to destabilize these Sahel nations. Accusing France, as a practitioner of neo-colonialism where it has been at the center of every political and economic matter in these countries, is becoming a major point for the arrival of more Russian soldiers, mostly in Burkina Faso and Mali. Even though the media is trying to declare that Russian soldiers are killing innocent people in areas where there are terrorists, President Ibrahimtraore of Burkina Faso and President Assimi Goïta of Mali are not bothered by these allegations. During his first visit to Burkina Faso recently, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov pledged more support through the provision of more Russian soldiers and weapons to assist in operations concerning the elimination of insurgency. Russian soldiers are free to fly from Bamako, the capital of Mali, to Ouagadougou, the capital of Burkina, in case of any need for their assistance. Dozens of Russian military instructors in April 2024 arrived in Niger as part of a new agreement with the country's president, Abdulrahman Chiani. Footage of the Russian instructors unloading a cargo plane full of equipment was broadcast on Niger state television. Niger has been facing increased violence by the Islamic State group, as well as the continuing threat of Boko Haram militants along its border with Nigeria. At the beginning of July 2024, Russia deployed over 1,800 fighters to eastern Libya in what it hopes will become a base of power to exert influence to the rest of the African continent. Some of those deployed were Russian soldiers, and others were mercenaries with Russia's africacorps. Earlier before that, in April, there was a deployment of a group of Russian ships that delivered thousands of tons of weapons and military equipment at the eastern port of Tobruk, Libya. Basing on analysts, Libya provides Russia with a crucial bridge between its Mediterranean operations based in Syria and africacorps operating in Burkina Faso, the Central African Republic, Mali, Niger, and Sudan. Even though Russia is looked at in a context where it is aiming at obtaining minerals and establishing numerous military bases and becoming a new foreign giant in Africa, a number of African presidents are looking at this as a win-win situation due to Russia's flexibility in providing the necessary equipment and aid the country's needs. What do you think about Russia and its soldiers replacing the West in Africa? Will it continue to be a fair ally aiming for a mutual benefit? Please tell us in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and also leave a like for this video. Also, you should check out other interesting videos on this channel.